Another Tuesday is upon us, and you know what that means. It is time for the Tuesday Titans Tossup here on the A to Z Sports Podcast Network. I'm Luke Worsham, Titans reporter for A to Z Sports. What do we do on the Tuesday Titans Tossup? Well, it's pretty simple. Every Tuesday during the offseason, we toss up a topic related to the Tennessee Titans, and we discuss it and analyze it, and I'll give you everything you need to know about that topic in less than 10 minutes. Today's topic, 3 free agents of the Titans that the Titans need to re-sign. So we're not talking about impending free agents from other teams. We're talking about the Titans' in-house guys, 3 of them, that they should make an effort to bring back in. Before we get to that conversation, though, I want to talk to you about our sponsor of the TTT, and that is Hecklin, Braden, and Smiley Family and Cosmetic Dentistry here in Nashville. Now, I had the opportunity last week, as I talked about, to go in and get my teeth cleaned at Braden, Hecklin, and Smiley Family Dentistry. And let me tell you, I think I got the names out of order, Hecklin, Braden, and Smiley Family Dentistry. And let me tell you, it was a great experience because, I'm the kind of person, I hate having to wait around. I've got a busy schedule. I've always got a million things going on. I don't want to have to sit there and wait around in the waiting room, right? Like, what's the point of an appointment if you have to do that? I definitely didn't have to do that when I went to Hecklin, Braden, and Smiley. Walked right in, got treated very quickly, and everyone was very friendly. It was a great experience, and they're very thorough with what they do. You can tell when they're doing their work, just how much they care about attention to detail. Now, when I was in there, I just got my teeth cleaned, but they do so much more than those routine checkups. They do cosmetic work as well. And what's great is that they're very conveniently located in Nashville, very close to West End and that area. And they're open 5 days a week, which isn't the case with a lot of dentists in town. So if you're looking to get any kind of dental work done, whether routine or cosmetic, give them a call, make an appointment, head to drhecklin.com. So, hopping into our topic on the TTT. Here's the important thing I want to say. Because like I said, we're going to talk about 3 guys the Titans need to re-sign. This is not an exhaustive list, meaning that if someone who is an impending Titans free agent is not on the list that I'm about to give you, that does not mean that I'm sitting here saying that they don't need to re-sign that guy. Rather, I'm just highlighting 3 guys that I think it would make a lot of sense if they went out and re-signed them. And we're going to start with the obvious choice, and that is outside linebacker Harold Landry. Now, I'm recording this. It's Tuesday, and as I'm sitting here recording this, the franchise tag deadline has already passed. So the Titans are not going to franchise or transition tag Harold Landry, meaning that if they don't get a deal done with him between now and when free agency officially opens on Wednesday, then he can sign with another team Wednesday of next week, 8 days from now. The Titans can't let that happen. And when we talked on a previous episode of the TTT about why it is so important in particular for the Titans to re-sign Harold Landry, and you can go back and listen to that episode for perhaps a more in-depth dive about Harold Landry. But to sum it all up, I just think it's as simple as they can't afford to lose him. It took the Titans 4 years of having Mike Vrabel as their head coach to amass a defensive line, a pass rush, that was really, really good. Mike Vrabel's first year was underwhelming. It was average in his second year. It was a disaster in his third year, 2020. And then finally in 2021, with Landry, Autry, Dupree, and Simmons, that group came together to form a really formidable pass rush that made life difficult for a lot of opponents. And the Titans are in a situation where they can control their opportunity to keep that group of 4 together. And I just have no idea why they would voluntarily say, you know what, we're going to throw our hands up, we're going to let Landry go, and we'll just take our chances come what may with whatever we can get. I don't think that that's a good idea at all. I think it's frankly a terrible idea. And I don't think they'll do it. A report came out from our friend Teron Davenport of ESPN this afternoon saying that the Titans right now, even though they didn't do the tag, are still fully intent on keeping Harold Landry. I firmly believe that. I think Teron is right with that. It just makes too much sense. That group, that position group, was easily the Titans' biggest weapon in the 2021 season when they had the best record in the AFC during the regular season. That was what got them there more than anything else. And I don't know why they would volunteer a situation that they can control, because Landry wants to be back. We know that. I don't know why they would voluntarily say, you know what, he can go somewhere else. Because if that's what happens, then that's what the Titans did. They have control over this. They need to exercise that control and keep Harold Landry around. Free agent number 2 that I think the Titans should try to re-sign is Dane Crookshank. And here's why. Beyond the talent, because Dane Crookshank really emerged in 2021 for the Titans. For the first 3 years of his career, he was injured all the time. He was in and out of the lineup. He was a special teams guy mostly. But in 2021, Dane Crookshank became a true weapon for the Titans defense. They used him very frequently to shut down tight ends from opposing teams. He was their tight end coverage guy, and he played one of the highest rates of dime linebacker in the entire NFL. But the reason that I think the Titans should re-sign Dane Crookshank goes beyond that. Obviously, that's sort of the fundamental reason, is the fact that he's good, he's valuable. But what I think is going to work in the Titans' favor with this is I don't think other teams are going to see that same value in Dane Crookshank. I don't think his name recognition is big enough for that yet. I don't think, despite his success in what was a limited role, but still a valuable one with the Titans in 2021, despite that, I don't think there's going to be a line of teams, stamping their ticket, trying to get into a bidding war for Dane Crookshank. And as a result, I think that he's going to be an affordable guy to keep around. I don't think you're going to, my expectation is you're probably not going to have to pay more than maybe $4 million, $5 million at the most bucks to keep Crookshank around. And if that's the case, if you can get him at that small of a value, I think what you're going to get from him on the defensive side of the ball, so long as he can stay healthy, because, as I said, that has been a problem, I think that's well worth that money. That's money well spent. So, assuming that I'm right about this hunch that Crookshank isn't going to get a whole lot of money somewhere else, the Titans should try to keep him for that same role as the tight end guy of the defense in 2022. Number 3, to wrap it up, wide receiver Marcus Johnson. Similar logic to Crookshank, I don't think he's going to be a whole lot of money. Marcus Johnson was the training camp star in 2021, and he amassed 100 receiving yards for the Titans against the Saints. The problem is he never got to build on that because he started the season on injured reserve. He had that great game against the Saints, kind of piddled around in another game or two, and then he was hurt again, got put back on IR, and his season was very, very short. That's not a guy you want to rely on. I'm not saying you go give him a lot of money. I just don't think there's going to be really any competition for him. He had one good game. He probably maybe got his name out there during the preseason. I just don't see teams, again, lining up for Marcus Johnson. I think you can probably get him for $2-3 million. And if that's the case, why not try it on a 1-year deal, put him through training camp again, and see what happens? Because, again, this offseason needs to be, for the Titans, all about getting more talent around Ryan Tannehill, increasing their arsenal of weapons, and they've got one right here in Marcus Johnson that they can keep around. He doesn't need to be a starter. He probably doesn't even need to be a number 4 guy. But if you can keep someone like that in the fold, at least for training camp on a very small, affordable 1-year deal, I think you do it. So, to recap, Titans need to re-sign Harold Landry, Marcus Johnson, and Dane Crookshank. Doesn't mean they don't need to re-sign the other guys. This isn't me saying don't go get Ben Jones, don't go get, Morgan Cox. These are just the 3 guys that I think make a lot of sense for the Titans to go and re-sign. This has been the TTT, the Tuesday Titans Tossup. Thanks for tuning in this week. Come back next week, and we'll do it again.